3 months of football. It comes and goes in the blink of an eye. The regular season wraps up on the road in Chicago. The Windy City, it's been friendly to the Reavers, unbeaten in the state of Illinois. This time, it's a big one in search of win number 10 and trying to make a statement in the national polls. Would a big win be enough? We'll have the highlights and more coming at you next on the Iowa Western Football Coaches Show, the Coach Stroh Show on the Reaver Sports Network and CBTV 17. From the studios of CBTV 17 in Council Bluffs, Iowa, this is the Iowa Western Football Coaches Show. I'm Jake Ryan, joined by the head coach of the Iowa Western Reavers, head coach Scott Strohmeyer. Coach, final game of the 2017 regular season. It's an opponent that you're very familiar with, and you know, despite the fact that, that they're 6-2 and that they've only played a couple JVs, they got a couple big wins under the belt. The Chaparrals of DuPage, looking pretty good and looking dangerous on film.
For sure. I mean, one, they're well coached and their kids always play hard, and so we know we're in for a battle every time we play them. And I was hoping challenged our kids to come out and play, some of our best football.
Now, you've played in the past against Joliet, Harper, and then DuPage. You've never lost in the state of Illinois. That's got to be a pretty good mark to put on the line each and every year against DuPage, doesn't it?
I didn't realize that we were undefeated in Illinois, but some really good teams.
The bus is not undefeated. I know that the bus got beat on the way to Grand Rapids one year, but
I remember those days too. But they're always good teams. They're good. They always have good players, and for whatever reason, we must play well on the road in Illinois, I guess.
Well, they're always trying to make a statement. Let's take a look at the highlights from this day in Chicago. Windy, cold, to say the least. The Reavers out in their black-white combo. Mekhi Sargent back, and that's a good sign right there, Coach. Mekhi Sargent from the get-go was ready to run.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see him back playing, and for him to get a good run on his first one is huge.
Vincent Perry catching the little out from Kai Loxley, and then it's getting chippy early on. We're only in the first quarter, and already some pushing and shoving on the sideline, and then Mekhi up the middle yet again.
Yeah, anytime you got two good teams going, and like I said, the emotions are high.
Nick Singleton catching another quick pass, and you guys are moving on drive number 1, and then, penalties and a whole sort of things happen, and then Hunter Penninger has to kick it to the end zone. How about this play by Des Lockett to knock it back before it gets in the end zone? Great special teams play again, this time not running the ball, but stopping the ball.
Yeah, it was big, pinning them deep, and we faltered with some penalties that drive, but it was good to get our defense back out there and get a stop.
Chester Graves, Val Martin pinning down Asher O'Hara, who proved to be a little bit more elusive than that as the game went on. Mekhi again, and then bounces to the outside. It's just so quick with his decision-making against the line.
Yeah, he's got a good feel, good vision, and good feel for it.
Not buying the fake. Loxley goes down, looking again, and still scoreless here in the first quarter. He'll throw it down the field, and then it's picked off. Nice hit by Vincent Perry trying to jar the ball loose. Fortunately for DuPage, it didn't get shaken loose, but nice hit by your wide receiver.
Yeah, he took a chance, underthrew one a little bit, and it was basically like a punt, but we can't have turnovers.
Asher O'Hara, the quarterback, escapes a little bit and then is brought down. You guys get the ball back, still in the first, still no score. Nick Singleton, nice catch to the outside. He'll dive forward for a few extra yards. And then second quarter is when the points started to come. Mekhi Sargent bouncing it to the outside, very close to a first down as he gets near your sideline.
Well, 0-0 at first, and I think we did all the things we needed to do. We just either shot ourselves in the foot, and defensively was playing well. Sargent
just down outside the red zone, then Kai steps up, looking for a block. How about this block by Mekhi Sargent, as Kai, I thought, was going to dive into the end zone, and a great block on the outside. But the DuPage player was shaken up, ended up being okay after it was all said and done, and then Kai Loxley diving in for his first touchdown of the day.
Yeah, it was good. He created one off of play action pass, the one before, and then that one was a design quarterback run, but a good way to get in the end zone.
Ogamba kicks it into the Chicago wind. You're up 7-0. Took a long time to score that first touchdown, but it felt good when you finally did. And then they'll try the wide receiver handoff, nowhere to go, and then a backup tailback comes in, nowhere to go. The Reaver Darkside playing very well.
Playing really well. We're stopping the run and making them one-dimensional.
How did he get out of it? That's the question.
He did that, a good chunk of the day. He's an elusive little player, and we knew about him. We recruited him out of high school.
So Asher O'Hara going to work again, stepping up and bracing himself for the hit. A good hit as the Reavers come loose. The ball comes loose, and you guys get the turnover.
Yeah, it's you put a quarterback running that much, and you keep getting guys to the football, you can create some turnovers.
Loxley on the offense back to work. Quick throw to the outside. Nice placement of the football as Mike Hill hauls it in on the sideline.
Yeah, and good to get Mike back in, the flow of things, and he's coming off of an injury, and good to get him back into the flow of action.
Continuing to march down the field, Mekhi Sargent over 160 yards on the day. He rushes inside the 5, and it'll be Loxley that uses a little mixed direction, loses the football, gains it back, and gets inside the 5. I thought that one was coming loose, but good heads-up play to just grab it and pull it back in, and then the next play, he's going to run it all the way into the DuPage end zone for his second touchdown of the day.
Yeah, I seen it pop loose. I'm like, uh-oh, and luckily he grabbed it back, and we were able to get in for the second score.
Ogama knocks it through again. Reavers up 14-0. So again, it took a little while to get going, and now you seem to be cruising.
Yeah, and just when you think you're cruising, then he sneaks through. I thought we had the right call there, but he got through there and they got a first down.
Well, by the final stats, 10 sacks final on the day, and it's amazing that it got to be that high since you should have had him so many times, and he escaped out of it. I mean, he was just so elusive, and then I thought that big Davion Nixon was going to have himself a need for some oxygen after that play, but he can't haul it in as O'Hara knocks it away.
Yeah, I thought, and then here we got caught in man or cover 0, and they snuck inside. You get a completion, and he scores. But
yeah, Nehemiah Brown stumbled all the way to the end zone, Coach, after he caught that ball. Catch to the outside, nice job, or actually an interception to the outside. Nice job by their player, and then you got a chance to watch that lead evaporate to nothing. But the dark side stepping up. The field goal, not so much, as it goes wide left on a line, and you get the ball back. That was huge, I thought, for the defense because they could have tied it up at 14.
For sure. We put our defense in a bad position with a turnover, backed up, and defense came up big with a stop.
Sargent driven out of bounds. The two guys tackling him, both laying down. He stands up. He's still on his feet after all is said and done.
Yeah, and then this is a good drive. I think there was like 3 or 2 minutes to go, and when we got the stop time on the field goal and drove it down, and again, getting some first downs inside the 10-yard line.
Yep, Kai Loxley again with his feet, and a Kai Loxley again with his feet. Third touchdown of the quarter for Kai Loxley as he flips it to the official, and the Reavers go up at halftime 21-7. All in all, I thought the first half was reasonably well played by the Reavers. A couple of interceptions, but other than that, what did you see?
I saw the same thing. I thought we were playing pretty well. We had 2 interceptions, 1 backed up, 1 we were moving the football. Some penalties got us in that first half, but and they got 1 play on us the entire first half, and unfortunately went for a touchdown. So I felt as long as we could get in the groove and didn't hurt ourselves with mistakes, we were going to be okay.
21-7 your score at the break. 30 minutes of football left to capture a 10-win season. First half thoughts and more highlights as the Coach Stroh Show continues right here on CBTV 17.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
From the studios of CBTV 17 at Canesville Center, here on the campus of Iowa Western Community College in Council Bluffs, this is the Coach Stroh Show. Coach, a slow start offensively, but the Reavers get it going. Looking back, what were the Chaparrals doing that slowed you down offensively? Was it just mistakes on your part, or were they throwing a wrinkle or so in there?
No, really, I would say majority of it was on us. They didn't do anything that we didn't really expect, like some other teams. I mean, they made some changes, but really, we'd miss a block here, we'd have a penalty here, missed throw there, or whatever it might have been. But we weren't just always on the same page.
Your blocking that went on in the game, I thought some really hard hits, especially coming from the blocks. Not only, I believe there was one run where Mekhi took off and Kai sprinted forward, and your quarterback was out there blocking. I mean, that's a team that's playing for each other right there.
Yeah, and really that's what we stress all the time, and it's not always you're carrying the football or within offensively. There's times where you're running a route to help your buddy out. Well, there's going to be another time they're running a route to help you out. So when you start understanding offensive football and everything involved in it, that's what you need in order to be successful.
Yeah, rising tide raises all ships, as the saying goes. Let's take a look at the second half highlights from Glen Ellen, Illinois, just outside of Chicago. Again, a very chilly day, about 32 degrees as the game went on. Reavers will start off in the third quarter leading 21-7, and they didn't show the onside kick that you got. Eddie Ogamba kicked it and recovered it about 11 yards away from where he touched it. That was quite a play by Eddie.
Practiced that for 10, 11 weeks and waiting for the right opportunity, and I thought, that was a good opportunity to get it.
So the Reavers on their first drive, again, driving. It was Nick Singleton the play before. Here's another chance for a block, but the defender steps out, and then 23 yards out, no problem for Kai Loxley. He just walks into the end zone. Fourth touchdown of the day for your quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, a very good run. I think the big thing is 21-7. They had to feel pretty good at the half. Onside kick and then drive down and score. Yep. I think really puts them out of it.
How about that hold just a moment ago by Kurt Walding? A low snap, he adjusts it. Ogamba's kick was good. It's 28-7 Reavers. And again, Asher O'Hara just making opportunities for himself by getting out of the pocket and getting out of trouble. He's taking some tough hits, though.
He did. He took some shots throughout that whole game, but he's staying in there and fighting and throwing and running.
And a play down inside the 5-yard line. Going to work again, trying to throw to the end zone. Now here comes trouble again, and Chester Graves. When Chester Graves comes at you, that's a place you don't want to be if you're a quarterback.
No, he comes off that edge, but two huge plays. They're inside the 5-yard line. Yep. We sack him on consecutive plays is huge.
And a quick throw to the outside, nowhere to go. Another tough hit by your defensive secondary. Great job there by Kyle Hemby. And then the Reavers get it back. Handoff, guess who? Mekhi Sargent, tough running all day, and it's good to see him after 2 weeks out nursing that injury to come back and perform so strongly.
Well, and I give him, a lot of credit to him. He didn't necessarily have to play. He wants to play. We got him a brace. He's not 100% yet, but he wants to play to help the team.
Well, I tell you what, 100% Mekhi would have gone for over 200 in this game. He went for 169 on the day, and of course, Kai Loxley with quite the day as well, passing and running especially as he gets down inside the 5, just shy of the goal line there. And well, with a 28-7 lead, what else are you going to do? You're going to hand off. There's T-Boy White that gets some action. He gets to the goal line from the 2. And then the very next play in the fourth quarter, Kai Loxley holding it over the goal line, 35-7 after Ogamba adds the extra point. And that's 5 touchdowns, Coach. That breaks the record that Mekhi Sargent set just earlier this season against Coffeyville.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good performance. The one before that he ran was a 4th down. He converted it and took us down inside the 5. And when you have a quarterback that is a threat running the football, it makes it really tough on the defense.
Tip ball by the secondary there. No chance for there's this the play where he's down and blocking. No chance for the DuPage Chaparrals to convert. You get it back, but right there, he sprints in front of Mekhi, makes the block, and another nice catch by Vincent Perry sliding down on that play.
Yeah, good conversion to get a first down, and we come back with a quarterback draw, and they really didn't have an answer for that. We didn't show that play a lot all year.
Kai stepping through trouble. There he is right next to Elijah Suela. He'll go in. Touchdown number 6, Coach. That wraps up the scoring. 42-7 you lead as Ogamba chips in the extra point. What a day for your QB.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive, and
what a day for your defensive line. There's Deshaun Quinn
yeah, exactly.
with the quarterback sack.
10 sacks, whatever we had, and guys just playing with effort. Anytime you have a quarterback that runs around like that, you got to have guys that play with good effort.
Brandon Mangrum and Ashton Clemens helping out, and then they try for the fake punt, and nowhere to go. Nowhere to go at all as Joe Jordan sniffs it out for the tackle.
First tackle for a wide receiver, and but a good play by him.
Kurt Walding trying the leap, and then I thought that one was good. I didn't see it from the right angle, I suppose, but no good for Eddie Ogamba. And then they bring in their backup quarterback, too much for Asher O'Hara. Deshaun Quinn, another QB sack, stacking him up, pushing him back, and just nothing going for the Chaparrals on the day.
No, like I said, once you get them to where we know they're throwing it, and our guys did a really good job there towards the end. A couple guys.
Atlius Bell getting a hug from Devin Quinn, and then they'll punt it away, and it's taken by Dez. I don't know if that ever sells anybody with the big swooping arm fake, but he does a lot of running here for not much of a reward as far as the yardage goes.
No, I'd rather him just fair caught that one, but he's trying to make a play.
Yeah, Russ brought up a pretty good comparison. He is reminiscent sometimes of Wes Smith, the way he so dangerously picks up the ball.
Yeah, fearless. I guess you got to have that. Sometimes there's a little bit of difference.
That's what you want in a punt returner, isn't it?
You do, and you want them to, to be fearless, but also know some situations.
42-7, the Reavers continuing to try to march down the field. Walding, I thought, had a laser shot here and just out of the back of the end zone for Joe Jordan. I mean, he put that ball about the only place it could have been, and just a little bit overthrown, couldn't come down with it.
Yeah, I thought we got in on that one too, but whatever, he's a little bit out, and good throw though, and it's good to see some of these guys getting some action and making some plays.
Nick Anderson, the tackle for loss the previous play, and then another quarterback sack to end it. So final score 42-7. Your 10th, another 10-win season. 5 out of 9 seasons you've had 10 wins. 2 of those seasons you've had 9 wins. So I mean that's a pretty good record as you get you get that extra victory here as you've played 100+ games, and now on the career as the Reavers head coach. What is it now? 83, I think, in 19.
Yeah, I think something like that.
I mean, not quite 20 losses, but 83 wins. That's a pretty good percentage.
Yeah, and it's like I told our guys, I mean, 10 wins, double-digit wins when you play 11 regular season games. Anytime you can get double-digit is huge. And there's only 2 10-win teams right now in the country, and it's us and East Mississippi. So it's not an easy thing to reach. And I was just proud of our guys with everything through the season. We challenged them, numerous times, and we go to Independence and all the hype there and put a whooping on them, and then we falter and we come back with a good performance. We go to Garden, the defending national champs, and beat them pretty good, and then we get punched in the gut a couple weeks ago, and they respond, to this one. So, I'm proud of these guys. They've earned it. I'm glad they get another opportunity to play together.
Well, 10 wins, and you don't give up on the season more than 24 points, I think it was the most points that you gave up as the season went on. As several games where they were under 20 points, so a great season overall. The offense really clicking. The defense has been great all season long, but overall, I mean, you look at 10 wins. That feels pretty good. And 2 of those other 2 seasons where you won only 9 games. I mean, the one season, a couple of games against Grand Rapids, who had a hell of a program when they were playing, and the year before you were sitting at 9-0. And got tripped up by Ellsworth, and then the first time that you ever went to a bowl game was out to Snow, and it was a great time, but that was a heck of a shootout as well. So you look at those other 2 seasons, they were pretty close to 10-win seasons those years as well.
Yeah, we're right there, and I think anytime you're in position to win 10, I think is pretty darn good, and a lot of programs would love to be in that position.
Yeah, Iowa Western very successful so far. When we come back, a member of the dark side will join the show. He will talk with a guy that earned his nickname Panda, playing defense. Figure that out and more. Brent Pentecost joins the show next on CBTV 17.
Hi. You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home just in case. Why would you do that?
Probably okay isn't okay. Call a cab, a car, or a friend.
Good choice.
The Coach Show Show continues here on CBTV 17. I'm IW TV student Brent Pentecost, along with defensive lineman Deshaun Quinn. Welcome to the show, Deshaun.
Thank you for having me.
So, great performance by yourself on Saturday against DuPage. 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 7 total tackles. What was it like to get out there and get that kind of a performance in the last game of the regular season?
I mean, it was nice because it's like my last game here. I kind of want to go out with a bang, and 3 sacks and 7 tackles. I didn't even hear that one, so it's kind of nice to hear that.
It's a big game, man. You guys played well. Trying to impress the voters. It is disappointing you guys didn't make the national championship game, but you do get to play Northwest Mississippi, who is the only team to beat East Mississippi this year. What's going to be the status of you guys getting hyped up, get ready for that game?
Well, I mean, with us getting knocked out of the national championship, I mean, we just got to approach this game like it's our national championship. And it starts at practice, so we have to come ready at practice, come together as a team for one last game as a brotherhood.
So you're from Marion, Iowa, so said about 4 hours away. Graphic Edge Bowl is in Cedar Falls, the UNI Dome. You get excited to get up there and play. Yeah, obviously you have your twin brother too, and get a bunch of family up there to watch you guys play your final game as a Reaver.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting because we went there last year. and I always like playing at the UNI Dome. The turf's not so great, but it's nice playing at a big stadium like that, and having my family come and watch me. That's going to be great too.
Yeah, it's got to be kind of a little bit of a throwback too, because high school, that's where you guys play to try and get to for state playoffs, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Awesome. So, what are some of the options that you have coming up for once you get out of Iowa Western? Any places giving you some looks so far?
Still looking, a couple D2s here and there. It's starting to pick up now, but really all I'm looking for is like a school that feels like this, like makes me feel at home, good community, and that's all I'm really looking for.
So picking up off that, what's it been like, you know, having your brother here, being able to experience the last 2 years, 2.5 as a redshirt, being at Iowa Western with him and getting the experience with the Reaver football program?
I mean, when you come into like a program new, I mean, the only person you really know is your brother. So from the start, he was the only person I knew, and like every year I could just rely on knowing that one person every time I came into camp. So, and it's always nice, you know, me and him played defensive end, so we both play on the other side. So, we both play opposite sides, so it's nice, you know, looking over there, he makes a play, I make a play. It's nice.
Good to see that little brotherly love out on the field, because you guys have the camaraderie between each other as teammates anyways, but to actually have your brother on the field,
Yeah.
it's a great feeling, I'm assuming. So thanks for joining us today on the Coach Stroh Show, Deshaun.
Thank you.
That's defensive lineman Deshaun Quinn. I'm Brent Pentecost. When we return, Jake and the coach will be back to wrap up this week's show. You're watching it on CBTV 17 and the Reaver Sports Network.
We are back on the set of the Coach Stroh Show at CBTV 17 in Council Bluffs. I'm Jake Ryan with the head football coach of the Iowa Western Reavers, Scott Strohmeyer. Well, we will let's talk bowl and let's talk rankings. And I know that you can't say what you want to say because, well, it's even though it's cable. But the Reavers end up third in the final poll with the most first place votes. How does that happen? You're on the coaches committee. This is something that the coaches agreed upon. So exactly how are the Reavers drawing the short end on this one?
Oh, I don't know. You know, it's tough. You know, I mean, I think honestly, there's 3 really good teams, and really 4. I mean, you want to keep Northwest Mississippi in that mix as well, but you know, any two could have made it, and other ones could have been upset.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're on the outside. You know, we do have the human side of it with 5 first place votes. The first time ever that a team with the most first place votes is not playing for national championship.
I'm glad it's you.
So a year of first, but you know, the new system in the computer polls, I think, is what really hurt us, and
Yeah.
the strength of schedule. Not like I think our schedule is as tough as anybody's. If you know, I'll put up of what we've done on the road, and maybe their records aren't always as good in some cases, but week in and week out, you got to play ball. And I think where it got us was they changed it from a set points that you used to get when you fell into one of those places to more of a percentage. So we lost out on some, and agree, disagree. Something needs to be changed. Something's going to be looked at. Unfortunately, now they're really going to evaluate the polling system. And you know, that's a good thing. The bad thing is we're on the bad end of the stick for this year. But you know, like I told the guys,
Yeah, if we're not talking about it, somebody's talking about it.
for sure, somebody is. And you know, like I told the guys yesterday, they're disappointed, which they should be. I'm disappointed. I'm hurt, you know, because they've done everything in their power. We probably should have never been number 1 in the country then if this is the way it was going to shake out. But that's where the issues.
I think that's why it hurts more, doesn't it?
For sure, you know,
Yeah.
because once you get first place and you win, you shouldn't really get out of it. But you know, they're going to look at it, and you know, but there's, like I said, I told them life's not always fair, and we can make excuses and this and that. It does no good right now.
Right.
Let's take it. We got one more opportunity with this team, and I told them we're going to try to get the best opponent we possibly can get, and give us one more opportunity to prove our case. It may not come home with a trophy, but you know, we got an opportunity to prove our case that we're one of the top teams, if not the top team in the country.
So over the weekend, it was Arizona Western that beat Scottsdale, which they needed to do to finish the season 9-0. So they only played 9 games. And then East Mississippi and Northwest Mississippi went toe-to-toe, and Northwest had it late. East Mississippi tied it up. They went to overtime, and then in the overtime, they each scored a touchdown. One interesting thing I thought was that Northwest had a holding penalty that would have pushed them to 1st and 20, and instead of taking that penalty, East Mississippi said, no, we don't want the penalty. It was 2nd down. They got a 1st down on the very next play and then scored, and then Northwest took the lead 68-61, I believe. That's right, 68-61. And then East Mississippi scored to get within a point, and then they pulled a Tom Osborne, and they went for 2 and the win and got it. And, I mean, it was you're talking almost 70 points that they gave up.
Yeah.
And you look at East Mississippi, 2 times this year they've given up over 60 points. 2 times. I know. So they're a heck of a ball club, but
They are.
At some point, you just got to shake your head and go, all right.
Yeah. You know, the crazy thing on that is last year, East Mississippi lost 1 game, the first game of the year.
Yep.
An individual dropped a 2-point conversion that
Yep.
would have won it.
Same kid caught it this year.
Same kid caught it this year to win it, to put him into the national championship game. So, but yeah, when you get in games like that, you're on your heels defensively. Nobody can stop anybody. And both those teams are explosive on the offensive side of the football.
Well, you're going to find out. Northwest Mississippi is who you guys have in the bowl game December 3rd. It's number 3 Iowa Western, number 5 Northwest Mississippi. Both of those teams, your team and the Rangers, they've got something to prove. It should be a heck of a ball game.
Yeah, it should be. You know, and first of all, we're honored that they're able to come and play us. And I've never played Northwest. I've just talked to their coach a little bit on the phone, and they run a classy program. They're talented. They're good. I felt throughout the year they could have been griping and complaining about where they stood. And you know, really their philosophy though in that league is, okay, well, if we're getting the short end now, all we got to do is win, and it's going to take care of itself. You know, unfortunately, we're not in that situation all the time, but so they felt slighted, and there's no question that I think these 2 teams could very easily be in the national championship game, and you know, could be the top 2 teams in the country, and that's not a disrespect towards anybody else. The reality of it is just if you evaluate both schedules and both teams and how they're performing and stats and things like that, you know.
Well, some people would call that facts, Coach.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hopefully.
Yeah. So others would just call it speculation. It will be a fantastic ball game. We will have that bowl game, the Graphic Edge Bowl, December 3rd on both 89.7 The River and the Reaver Sports Network. All the action from the Unidome in Cedar Falls, Iowa. Coach, thanks again for a great year.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
One more game to go. And then December 10th, we'll wrap up the season with our quarterback club down at 712. And, of course, we'll have more information on social media, Facebook and Twitter. You can follow at Go Reavers for that. So, again, the game in Cedar Falls, Iowa at the Unidome. Tickets for the game can be purchased through our athletic department. 712-325-3402 is the phone number. That's 325-3402. Or you can email Jeremy Capo, the athletic director of Iowa Western, at jcapo, J-C-A-P-O, at iwcc.edu. Great season and a great challenge ahead for the Reavers is not done yet, as they will get number 5 Northwest Mississippi, the Rangers and the Reavers. It should be a fantastic ball game. We are definitely looking forward to bringing you all of the action. Our final Stro Show of the year. Thanks again to Coach Strohmeyer, Brent Pentecost, and Riley Martin, who have traveled to all the games and done the student interviews here on the show. And, of course, Deshaun Quinn for joining us today, and all the players that have come our way as guests. For Dave Charrington and his Iowa Western Media Studies Intro to Media Production class, which they're filming it today, and of course the advanced video production classes, which fix all my mistakes or don't. Thank you for all of your hard work this semester. I hope that Dave sees fit to give you an A. I'm Jake Ryan. Thanks for watching. Remember to wear your blue and root for the Reavers. Thanks again.